palm reading of a lady. I don't know her age, but I would be explaining to you whatever I see on her palm. Before I start the video, I would request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can call me or you can phone me. These are the phone number and the email that are mentioned out here so that you can contact me. And now we straight away head to this particular hand image. Before we start, towards the right hand side of the screen, you would see that you can ask your questions down below in the comment section. If you have anybody viewing this video, they can basically take a look at it, take a look at the video and ask your questions as well regarding palmistry. Now we straight away head to this particular hand image that we have out here. We have other images as well. First, we are just going to take a look at the side profile images. Probably this lady wants to know about the relationship part, and I'll just draw over the relationship line, the line of attachments. These are the lines of attachments that you see out here. An attachment line doesn't mean that the person is going to, like if you see two lines or three lines, it doesn't mean that the person is going to marry twice or thrice. It's not like that. Closer they are to the heart line, the earlier the attachment is, the further they are far away from the heart line. This is the heart line, and near to the fingers, the later the attachment. So all of these do not get converted into marriage, but yes, one of them can get converted into the marriage. You would notice that this is the line of attachment, which is the main line, and it is kind of a little bit, it is having a branch like portion leaning downwards. Leaning downwards of this particular branch is not considered to be good. It is kind of a strain on the relationship. Upward area of the like the finger area is the sky, the downward area to the base of the palm is basically the earth, and the gravity is basically pulling this particular relationship or the attachment downwards. So this is a little bit negative sign, but not so much that you have to worry about. You have to look at other aspects of the palm as well before coming to the conclusion. We take a look at the other hand as well, and we find that the relationship line on the right hand is near to perfect. You will find that this is the main line and this is near to perfect. The other smaller lines, we can basically ignore these particular lines because these are very dim kind of lines. Dim lines, weak lines do not have much of importance, so we basically just ignore it. And this is basically the main attachment line, and if the main attachment line is good, the chances are that the relationship you are in, that particular person is not going to be undue, the person is not going to have lots of problems, it would not create problems for this particular person. So this is what is basically meant by these lines of attachments. Now we move on to the other more important aspects. Now the question arises, should we take a look at the right hand or the left hand? If she's a left-handed person, we would give more importance to the left hand, and if she's the right-handed person, we would give more importance to the right hand. It is not that both the hands are completely different. So it doesn't matter if we take a look, if we read the right hand or the left hand. Generally, it is said that for women, we should take a look at the right hand. Sorry, the left hand. But in today's times, in the changing times, what has happened is that the right hand of the woman has become more active compared to the left hand. So that's the reason why I give more importance to the right hand, even in the females. Now, the first thing that we find out here is that the headline, this is the headline and this is the lifeline. Both these lines are joined at the start for a very long time, very long time. Normally it is not joined, both these lines are not joined for such a long duration. Whenever both these lines are joined for a long duration, it signifies that the person is cautious, shy, hardworking. This is the quality basically the person has, and the person is consistent, and the person might miss out on opportunities, but missing out on opportunities is not a negative sign. because when you miss out on opportunities, you are left with fewer opportunities to work upon. And if you basically just try to work upon those things that are limited there with you, you become the specialist. And success to these people would come in the later portion of one's life. It could be after the age of 35 or after the age of 44. But this is just an approximate. This is not going to be the thumb rule. So this is just an approximate. At the same time, it doesn't mean that success would only come after the age of 35. The person could be successful before the age of 35, but the main portion of their success is going to come towards the later portion of their life. In the hare and tortoise story, you must have read that the tortoise wins the race because of the consistency, and the hare is basically moving around here and there and not concentrating on the race they are in. So that's the reason why they basically lose the race. So these people are very hardworking people, very consistent kind of people. They might be very shy. They might miss out on opportunities, but missing out on opportunities, as I've already explained to you, is not a negative sign. Now, the other part of the hand is that you would notice that in the initial part of the hand, there are few lines that are being cut, something like this. So cutting off the headline, and this is all happening before the age of this. If we draw a line from upward to downwards on the lifeline and the headline, this age is 18 and this portion of life is before the age of 18. So these cutting of lines is a little bit next a negative sign. These upward kind of lines moving towards the finger are always considered to be good. It basically signifies some amount of success or something happening in the earlier portion of one's life also. Towards in the beginning of life, you would notice that there's a upward kind of lines also pointing towards the mount of Jupiter. These are also positive kind of lines. First finger is basically the finger of Jupiter, and Jupiter signifies growth, expansion, ambition. It signifies that it is also the area of religion, administration, politics, and honor. You would notice if we take a look at all the fingers and the whole palm, you would notice that this area is jetting out a little bit upward. So this is a raised kind of a portion. So Jupiter, whenever is important in your fingers, in your hand, it signifies the chances brighten up for you, and it basically the person is likely to be more growth oriented, very ambitious, and they are seeking honor and they reach up to a higher position. It's not purely luck, it is the qualities that the person has. That is the reason why the person reaches up to a higher position. So it is all what the qualities that this particular person has. That's the reason why it is considered to be good. You notice one more thing on the fingers, that there are perpendicular lines. There are perpendicular lines on almost all the fingers. Perpendicular lines are considered to be beautiful lines. These are considered to be extremely good lines and positive lines. It brings qualities to each and every finger. See, this is the finger of administration, religion, politics. I've already explained to you. So these perpendicular lines are kind of sharpening the skills of administration. This is the finger of communication. This is the finger of calculations, statistics, economics, biology, chemistry, everything. So these perpendicular lines on the fingers are also considered to be good. It is not kind of blocking anything. Imagine something that energies is penetrating this particular energies or light is penetrating this particular finger, and the energies of communication, energies of calculations are they are penetrating. And if they are horizontal kind of lines are kind of blocking those energies, stopping them from going into the palm. And going into the palm means entering the person's life. So those are basically negative lines if there are horizontal lines. Perpendicular lines are considered to be extremely good indications. Now we take a look at the other most important aspect of the palm, that is the mount of Mercury. Mount of Mercury is the area for calculations, communication, statistics, economics, biology, chemistry, everything, anything to do with skill, anything to do with communication, anything to do with writing. It could be any of these things where the person would excel in. The person excels because the person has got strong perpendicular lines under the finger of Mercury. These are considered to be good provided these lines are strong, deep, and clear. This is the only reason when it is considered to be a good sign. So people who have kind of crisscrossing lines over it, that it would signify that that particular person is miscommunicating or miscalculating. But out here we don't see any such line. Out here we see very clear cut kind of lines. These clear cut lines are considered to be beautiful lines for success. Success is, this is, don't consider them to be the luck lines. It is purely skill lines, and skills gives you success. It is not purely luck that gives you success. It is your skills that brings you more towards the success. So this is what it basically means. If you take a look at books of palmistry, you would notice that whenever these perpendicular lines are seen out here, it says that the person could be a good doctor, very good surgeon, but not necessarily whenever I find these lines that each and every person is a surgeon or a doctor. But if the person tries to be a doctor, the person can be a very good doctor. But at the same time, I have found these lines to be in the hands of people who can be in any portion of any profession. It could be any profession. So each and every line that we see out here means that, like if we find four lines, it means four different set of skills. This is what it basically means. It could be various kind of skills. So multi skills this particular person has. I would like to clarify out here. If a person doesn't have any lines out here, even then it is considered to be extremely good sign, provided you don't even have a single line. The weak lines are of no use. Very, very weak kind of, these are lines are of no use. Strong lines basically signify that the person is sharpening the skills. Weak lines means that the person is not sharpening the skills. You'd also notice these kind of lines pointing towards the amount of Mercury. These are also Mercury lines, so these are considered to be good lines that we see out here. Now everybody wants to know about their money aspect in their life, and this is the money line. This is basically the money line that you see. It's a very deep and clear and singular kind of a line. Deep, clear, singular lines are considered to be good. Very stable kind of lines are considered to be good. It signifies stability in one's financial aspect and constant source of income that is going to come out there. So, but at the same time, I would like to clarify out here that purely by looking at the money line, we cannot know how much money that particular person is going to make in his life. So it is the importance of money line as to how much money the person is going to be having is very limited. It's only 10-15% that we can come to know about the money line, how much money that particular person has. So it's if we can't know from the money line, we have to look at the other aspects of your hand as well. So the Mercury aspect plays a major role, and apart from Mercury, there are other aspects also, like this consistency. This is hard work. Hard work brings success. So all these basically combined gives a betterment in the money aspect. Even your heart line can tell about the money aspect. Generally, people talk about the heart line as regarding their relationship and love life as well. But out here, I found that if the heart line ends somewhere under the mount of Saturn, it is considered to be a good sign, because Saturn signifies money, money management, responsibility, and all the wealth basically comes from Saturn. So if the heart line ends under the mount of Saturn, it means she's angling towards Saturn, means angling towards wealth and money and possessions. So people who angle towards a particular thing, see her heart basically desires all these things. So if the heart desires all these money, possessions, wealth, so the person is going to be basically targeting towards it. And if the person targets, the chances brighten up. Towards the end of the heart line, you would notice that the heart line is curving something like this. Curvature in the heart line could have also have been very straight, but out here we find that the heart line is curving upward towards a finger. Curving upward towards a finger is always good. It means betterment, like better relationships, but at the same time you would also notice that these lines curving downwards towards the headline are considered to be extremely negative kind of lines. They basically signify that the person would have attachments, and attachments bring in expectations. Expectations are not fulfilled. That's the reason why disappointments creep in. So weaker lines, there are a few weak lines and strong lines. This is a comparatively weaker line, weak branches, and strong branches. This is a strong branch. So stronger branches have more negative aspect compared to a weak branch out here. So these are weak branches on the heart line. Strong branches means that particular relationship is going to pull this particular person downwards. So that's basically a negative sign. And this line is also going inside your lifeline. This is the lifeline. So inside the lifeline and onto the mount of Mars. This is the area of Mars negative. This is the area of anger, aggression, and fire. So, so your relationship line shouldn't basically move towards the aggression part. So that's a negative aspect. It could mean that the person is basically, it would mean that the person is having misplaced affections, being affectionate to somebody who is not worth their affection. So this could mean something like this. The heartline, the curvature on the heartline towards the end basically signifies that the person is passionate, there's a display of emotions, and the person is extremely expressive with their emotions. So the person could also be temperamental as well. Now we move on to the money line, back to the money line. The money line, the fate line, the Saturn line. You can name anything, but the meaning remains the same. This is the money line. And the money line, the line of Saturn, is starting on the mount of Moon. Moon is the area of travel. Moon is the area of imagination, visualization, and romance. And when the money line, the fate line, starts from under the mount of Moon, it signifies that the person would benefit from trading activity, service industry, public appreciation, travel related work. Any of these things would bring benefits. And service industry is a wider term. It could be any service industry, and also benefits from opposite sex. And in opposite sex, it could be father, it could be brother, it could be male friends, and foreigners as well. In foreigners, it could be male or female. It could be any one of those. Those are the people that are going to benefit this particular lady. And staying far away from her birthplace in a foreign country would also bring more benefits to this particular person. So this is what is basically represented by the money line starting on the mount of Moon. And on the as far as the money line goes, whenever a person has got a stable and steady kind of a money line, the chances brighten up for relationship as well. The relationships might remain consistent, although there are few problems that we see on the heartline. These branches that I have already explained, those are a little bit negative, but a strong, stable money line signifies that the chances are that the person is going to have a stable relationship. Now, this is basically the line of career, and this is basically moving towards the mount of Sun. So this is a little bit weak. This is not such a strong kind of a line that we see out here, but at the same time, it is present out here. Weak lines can be seen beyond the age of 35. This portion of the line is 35 to 53. This is when it's not so strong, and beyond that, it is 53 and onwards. It is much more stronger. So the age, how do we calculate the age? Age on the money line, first I would tell, this is the money line, this is the headline. So intersection is age 35, intersection of the heart and the money line is age 53 on the money line. And this is the sun line. This is the earlier period, and this age is age 35 when the intersection of the head and the sun line, and this portion from the headline to the heart line is age 35 to 53, and this is 53 and beyond. So although it's not so strong compared to the other lines, but it doesn't mean that if a person doesn't have a strong sun line, that the person is not going to have a strong career. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, provided other portions of your palm are good. Like the good portions of the palm is a prominent mount of Jupiter. Jupiter is raised, and if you notice in all the fingers, this is appearing to be a little bit higher compared to the other fingers. So growth oriented, skills, consistency, hard work, strong money line. So all these things, in spite of us weaker sunline, still the person is going to be highly successful. And apart from that, you would notice that this is the area of mount of Venus. Venus is the area of your desires. This area appears to be well padded. If a person has got a well padded mount of Venus, it signifies that the person has got huge amount of desires, and the person who has desires is going to work for it. The person might be unsuccessful few times in the earlier portion of their life, but because of their constant efforts, because of their high energy levels, these people are going to basically work, and they are going to make it, and they are going to basically be successful. This is what is represented by a strong mount of Venus. There are few horizontal kind of line that we see out on the mount of Mars, and a little bit over the mount of Venus as well. So these horizontal lines, these are a little bit negative lines, because this is the area of your fuel, and this is the area of your fire. Mars is a red planet. Red means anger, aggression, and fire. Venus is the area of your energy, vitality, stamina, grace, and beauty. So when this area is a little bit red, the person is misusing their fuel. And if this area is having horizontal lines, that the chances are the person is misusing their fire. So this is what is represented by red unnecessary kind of lines that we see on the mount of Mars, and Mars negative, and the Venus. But these are not to a very great extent. They are very limited in extent. So we are not going to be concentrating too much on these lines. The person has got a stable strong hand. Stable strong hand basically signifies stable means a strong bones in the fingers as well as the palm, and well padded mounts that we see. It brings in a person is able to have a strong hold over people, money, and resources. A strong hand basically means strong hold over people, money, and resources. That means even if the person doesn't have too much of money, the person is going to go out and do bigger things, because the person knows that the person would be able to handle those stresses and anxieties and problems. Anxiety can be seen with these branches. These branches are a little bit anxiety prone, but not to a very great extent, I would say. Now I would just move on to the left hand as well for a brief moment. Both hands show similarities. Very strong Mercury line. These are beautiful kind of lines. If she wants to be a doctor or something like this, it's an excellent sign. But it's not purely for doctor. It could be engineer, it could be statistic, economist, anything to do with skill. And skills is her forte. You would notice that this area appears to be padded as well. A padded area basically signifies good amount of memory. So that's a positive aspect. Again, in the earlier portion of the headline, you'd notice this upward line moving towards the mount of Mercury. Again, some benefits, like something good happening in this particular person's life due to their own effort. It is not luck. Try to understand, it's not luck that brings success. It is your own qualities that bring you success. So the person might have gone for a higher education or something like this. So that's when many good things might have happened. So this is a beautiful thing. You'd also notice a strong sun line out here, and specifically after the age of 53. When we find a strong sun line beyond the age of 53, it doesn't mean purely that suddenly you are going to be successful after the age of 53. It basically means that the chances are that you are going to be more successful after the age of 53, but common sense says that you can't be suddenly be successful. You have to be doing something, only then you're going to be successful. So this is what is represented. Upward lines towards the mount of Jupiter signifies moving towards a higher position. It could be moving towards a higher position in any field. These perpendicular lines could also means very good writing skills or oratory skills, anything. A person who can impress with their speech or with their words, with their pen. So this is what is a beautiful sign. And the headline is splitting into two. This the person could be a genius. You'll notice that the headline is not very long. Don't think that you need to have a strong, long headline. Only then the person is good. Only then it's a better sign. Strong, long line could mean strong mental boundaries, but smaller line means that the boundaries are not there. It's open, and when it's open, the possibilities basically increase. So I found in a very top lawyer. See, for law also these perpendicular lines are there. So if a person is extremely good lawyer, they would have these kind of lines. When they go in front of the judge, they would be able to impress that particular judge in a beautiful way. Like they would kind of simplify a very complicated case, and they would simplify it very much. But people who have got crisscrossing lines, we don't find those lines out here. If they are crisscrossing lines, the person would complicate a very simple case into a complicated case. So you have to simplify those things. The person is able to simplify things to a very great extent. You'd notice you parallel kind of double money line. The double money line just means support system, another source of income. All thing is seen out here, and in this particular hand, a little bit difference that we see out here is that it is appearing that the money line, this is the money line, this is kind of ending, pointing towards the Mount of Mars. This is a negative sign, and a new line is basically starting over. So there's a break on the line of money. Break in the line of money signifies few problems like burning of your cash, destroying everything. But this thing is all happening at an early age. This is an early age. This could be around the age of 28 or so. So it could be problems in your relationship or problems in your work or anything to do with that. It could job loss or work loss or something like that. But the person doesn't need to worry at all because the hand is excellent. The hand is excellent. There's no problem at all. You would notice this area appearing to be well padded. Just notice this particular area, Mount of Jupiter. Very few people have padding under these fingers. You don't need to have a padding under the Mount of Saturn, because Saturn, you don't need padding at all. It is okay to have no padding at all under the Saturn, because Saturn, if there are too many Saturn qualities coming into you, that basically is a little bit negative sign, and it would kind of bring delays and problems and all these kind of things. And it appears the Jupiter finger is a little bit longer compared to the Sun finger. Sun is basically for creativity, art, music, and Jupiter finger is for administration, religion, politics. So finger whenever long, it might make the person a little bit bossy, but I can't say it with certainty, because whenever we take the hand images, sometimes you take it in a different angle, and there could be error in the way we see things. Probably it's not such a long finger, and it also appears that the Saturn finger is a little bit longer. It's better to have a not so long finger. Substantially long finger might bring in delays or something like this, but I would reserve my comment until I talk to this particular person. And that's it for this particular reading. I hope you liked this particular video. If you like this video, click on the like button, press the bell icon on YouTube. Don't miss another update. And you can ask your questions down below in the comment section. Before I end my video, I repeat almost all my videos, importance of money line in terms of how much money we will have is just 15%. We can come to know about money from almost all aspects of our hands. It could be on your heart line, your headline, life, sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or any other line. And a saint once said, you do not need to go to an astrologer or a palmist to know about your future because you already know your future. Present is the result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. Company matters the most. Sometimes our hand shows excellent possibilities, but if we are in wrong company, those positive aspects might never apply in the person's case. So you have to have the best company. Only then the chances for success increase. A person with a bad hand with all the negative aspects, if even if they are in the right company, the chances for success increases in spite of their hand not showing any sign at all. Thanks for watching this video. Bye and take care.